I'm a doctor. It still feels so weird to say. Genuinely, like on my badge, it says doctor, and I'm just like, that feels wrong. It feels wrong. Like, no. But I thought I'd put on the scrubs, just to really get in the zone in this video. Um, but yeah, long time no see. I thought I would do a bit of an update video because clearly a lot has changed. Currently I'm about halfway through my induction week, so I'm not like a proper doctor yet, although I do have my GMC registration, so I am actually a proper doctor. But it's just, I'm honestly just baffled at how we got here because I genuinely said I was going to quit like every single year in med school, and now we're here. So, we made it, which in itself is a big accomplishment. It's still just as scary as it was before. It's still just as stressful, um, even more so actually now. But I thought we could recap how final year went because I wasn't really around for a lot of that. And obviously this channel sort of became what it was because of med school. So I thought it would be like a full circle moment. Um, yeah, I mean, final year, hear me out, right? I went into it and everyone was saying like, oh, sixth year is the best year. You're gonna have a great time. And I was like, I had high hopes. I would honestly argue that out of all of like the clinical years, that year was the worst. Every other year we've had finals like at the end of the year. So we would have finals in like June or July. Whereas this year they split them. So we had finals in January, then we had our other set of finals in April, and we also had the PSA, like the prescribing assessment, in February. And also, we would have had to sit the SJT in like December, January time if they hadn't changed like the allocation system for jobs this year. So, actually, basically, most of your year is spent doing exams and worrying about exams. Results wise, didn't do the best compared to like previous clinical years, which doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence going into doctoring because it's like, okay, so now I'm struggling. Especially the OSCEs, I found them really hard. In between all of the exams, we had, our normal placements. We had medicine, surgery, acute medicine and intensive care, and GP. If the camera moved, no, it didn't. If you can hear any background noise, no, you can't. And we're going to carry on. Where was I? Yes. So then at the end of the year, after all our exams, we have a final 6 week block that is basically our apprenticeship block. So it's where, ironically, finally at the end, you learn how to actually be a doctor and how to like actually do the job. I have conflicting thoughts because whilst like it's a good idea, unless you get a placement at the hospital that you're going to work at, one of the biggest obstacles I think is actually trying to figure out like the systems and the processes in place where you're going to work, like how everything runs, how everything works, how the like electronic system works, how the notes work, how like you order XYZ, like referrals, everything like that. And obviously it's different at different hospitals. So I did my apprenticeship in a completely different hospital in a completely different region. Also during my apprenticeship, my F1 was so busy. Like sometimes she would get lunch at 4 p.m. She would leave at like 6, 7, 7:30. And I was just like, I feel too bad to be like, I'm gonna prep the notes, or I'm gonna take half the patients because it's gonna take me like 3 times the length of time as it's going to take her. And then obviously that just means that she has to stay late to finish all the jobs. Like it's not fair on her. Yeah, it wasn't like I didn't get to actually do very much during apprenticeship. And like obviously part of that is my fault. It was nice to be on placement and not have to think about exams and just like be there, like actually present. But yeah. And then yeah, that was that. I finished med school, moved out. As you can probably tell, I made the decision that I was going to move home for foundation years, which I'm still not 100% sure whether that was the right decision. I mainly made it because save money, and it's nice to have like family and close people around for like what is going to be probably a very stressful 2 years. However, obviously it feels like a major step back because I've like moved back home in with my parents. So yeah, I'm still not 100%, but like it is the decision that was made. Also, where I live was really a non-competitive deanery, and I got really lucky in that I got the region within the deanery that I wanted. Not quite the hospitals and jobs that I wanted necessarily, but I really can't complain. So yeah, all in all, it's fine. But yeah, I moved all my stuff out, graduated twice, technically. It flew by far too quick, and now we're here. And we're starting the next chapter. Speaking of, and before we get into my job and all that sort of stuff, I know that a lot of you guys who watch my videos are medical students and you're in med school at the moment, so I thought I'd introduce you to the sponsor of today's video, which is Lecturio. If you've stuck around for a while, you would know that I've worked with Lecturio so many times in the past. I really love them, and I wouldn't be surprised if you guys already knew all about them. But if you're new here, or if you don't, then Lecturio is an amazing platform for medical students. They have tons and tons of resources on there which are all super helpful for supplementing your learning or for revision. They've got everything all in one place, which is just perfect. And yeah, they've just got so much good stuff on there. They have like video lectures which cover loads of different topics and explain things really well. They have question bank, which, you know, excites all medical students, I know. And they've got the spaced repetition algorithm on there, so you know, you can go back over stuff and really ingrain it. They have my favourite thing, which are the study like concept pages, which are basically collated information about so many different like preclinical and clinical topics, and they've put them all in one place, which means that you don't have to go scouring through like 5 different textbooks and websites to like get all of it. Really high yield, really useful, would genuinely highly recommend. I will probably be using this throughout F1 and beyond because, you know, lifelong learning. If you like the sound of any of that, then Lecturio are actually running their back to school campaign between August 12th and August 31st. So you can get 50% off all premium plans between those dates, which is a really good deal. So if you were wanting to check Lecturio out, then I would recommend doing so soon. I will leave the link in my description box where you can go have a look. So yeah, thank you so much to Lecturio for working with me on this video, and let's now chat about my job. I don't know, I feel I'm obviously terrified, like I'm genuinely like petrified. You can't tell probably, but like genuinely down to my core I am terrified. Then I'm also like feeling kind of proud of myself because, you know, it's been something that I've been wanting to do since I was really little, and like yeah, we got a bit lost along the way and like wanted to quit, but it's something that I've worked for most of my life, and like, you know, we're here now, so like well done me. And then at the same time, I'm also just feeling like a complete imposter, and I feel like I don't deserve this, didn't work hard enough, I don't know anything, I'm gonna be an awful doctor, and yeah. So there's a lot of emotions running rampant at the moment. I didn't really vlog or like film anything except for this one clip that I filmed on the morning before I went into the hospital, and like it's my present to you. It's my first day of being in F1 and I feel so sick. I actually think I'm gonna vomit in my car. So that's great. I wasn't feeling too good, but anyway, yeah, I went in on Wednesday and it actually ended up being okay. The first day was okay, honestly. Like, I met some really lovely people. The first morning was just like lectures, so much information that like I've forgotten all of it. Like, it was just too much. And then the afternoon we spent on the wards, which you know, we were just sort of getting like a feel for it, and like just a little tour, and you know how the day works, blah blah blah. Like it was a very like not too stressful day actually, on the whole, compared to what I thought it was going to be. So I came out of it feeling pretty okay. Then Thursday we had our ALS course, which is like the life support resource course, which was actually a lot more intense than I thought it was going to be. I think a lot of us turned up and were like, oh. Friday was our first proper day on the wards, like 9 to 5, and this was the day where things started going a little bit downhill, because it was the day that I started to realize that I actually have to do this on Wednesday. Like on Wednesday, they're all going to be gone, like the F1s are going to be gone, and it's going to be me doing it, and I don't feel prepared. It's definitely like you're getting thrown in the deep end. I'm starting on acute medicine, which when I've said that to people, people have been like, it's either going to be really good or really bad. So I don't really know what to make of that. But I mean, so far people have been saying at the hospital that it's a really good thing to start on, because it's so hard that you're going to get good really fast. And like it sets you up for the rest of the year, which I mean, I'm not sure I'm super happy about the fact that I'm probably going to cry a lot over the next 4 months, but I suppose like from the sounds of things, it's basically really busy, and you know, it's acute, like patients can get sick really fast, and a lot of patients are really quite sick, but at the same time you're quite well supported, because from what I understand, the way it works is like the ward rounds are consultant led, like you're looking after your patients, but the ward round is done by the consultant, so the consultant sees every patient, so you're not sort of left on your own. Yeah, it was just a bit of a shock to the system, because everything is kind of done differently at this hospital. I went in and the F1 was like, oh, let's start prepping the notes for the ward round, so she gave me a patient to prep, and I was like, and I took so long that I think the consultant got fed up. I feel like it's going to be all the little things that like really set you back, like just knowing how things work, like knowing how to print off blood labels, knowing how to refer to XYZ specialty, all of that stuff, on top of the fact that you're now the one who's looking after these patients, and you're the one who has to make decisions and escalate and blah blah blah. And it's like I don't feel mentally, physically, emotionally ready for this, like at all. And don't get me started on calls, because the fact that I am going to be the one who's being called to see patients, hear me out. I know that like you can always call your senior for support and stuff, but like how does one know what is a stupid question and what is a valid question? Because you can't call them about everything. But I kind of want to. At least my on calls aren't actually for a few weeks, so luckily I have a few weeks of actually like getting into the job before I have to deal with that. Plus we have different types of on calls, so some of them you're literally just clerking like the medical take in A&E, which I think is my first set of on calls, which is lucky, because if I was doing ward cover, where like you're seeing all the sick patients on the ward when they call you, I think I would actually cry if that was any time soon. So yes. Anyway, yeah, Friday it sort of freaked me out a little bit. I think it was just starting to dawn on me that like you're actually gonna have to do all this, and especially when you see their current F1s, because obviously I think you forget that like they're now at the end of like their first year, so they've had a whole year of doing this, and that's why like they know what they're doing and they're really good at it. Whereas like you go into it and I'm just like, I'm clueless, I don't know anything, I feel like I should not even be here. And then you see like people who are obviously like really settled into their job, and you're like, how is that ever going to be me? And like I'm hoping that one day that will be me, just probably not any days soon. So yeah, I have 2 more days of shadowing. Monday we're going to do some on-call shadowing, I think Tuesday, back on the ward. And Wednesday, I will genuinely be surprised if I don't come home on a Wednesday crying. Like, I will be quite shocked, to be honest. That's life at the moment. I hope you enjoyed this super positive little catch up. And yeah, if you want to stick around for my F1 doctoring journey, then feel free to subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed hearing about my troubles. And I'll see you in my next one.